Really, dog? Hey, I'm live. My
Hello.
dog has to start barking as I literally just click play. Forgive the background noise, but welcome
Live
to the
television.
House of the Dragon episode 1 after show vodcast situation that we're going to be doing weekly. We literally thought of doing this together on Friday night.
Pretty much.
For all you guys watching the playback, if you want to continue and support, subscribe, hit the like button, because that's how it's going to help the Google algorithm situation. More nerds will find the video if you click like and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm joined by Sailor Tortilla, which I'm sure you must know her because she's like a superstar on YouTube with her Sailor Moon shit.
Oh, is that true?
I like to believe it is.
And then we
Thanks
have
for having me.
Andres, who's a hardcore Game of Thrones fan, if you cannot tell, with his with his Jon Snow getup. I love how you are prepared. You got the coat, you got the sword. I'm loving this.
I love
Hey,
it.
man, I did it for you. This is your channel. I'm not going to half-ass it. You know I
And
go
you
hard.
got all of that in just 2 days?
Just reminded me, I have a Game of Thrones cup and I did not bring it on air, but I'll do that for episode 2. So I believe this episode is called The Heirs of the Dragon, episode 1. And I did all my housekeeping stuff really quickly, like faster than I thought I would. So I did want to start out asking you guys your rating on this episode. There's a comment. Who was talking to us? Hello,
I'll
Chris.
go first.
Yeah, let's talk about the episode.
Let's talk about the episode. I agree.
He's waiting
um,
Oh shit,
Wait,
it's
so
Chris
the-
Dang. I know that guy.
Chris
Sorry.
Dang.
He shows up on my stream sometimes. Yeah.
Thanks for watching, Chris.
I'd say 3
Yeah.
out of 5 dragons.
I give it a 3 too. And Andres,
Okay.
I give it a 4 out of 5 dragons.
you see, I knew this was gonna happen. Hey, he was gonna like it more than I did.
Hold on. Can we stop for 1 second and just say that before the show, I feel like all of us were pooping on Game of Thrones. The ending was so bad. But like this whole time, in my heart, I've been so excited this whole time. I just wanted to look cool and say I wasn't, but I wanted to watch this so
I
bad.
was true to myself and said, I'm excited. I'm watching this shit. I was gonna watch it. I don't care.
Well, look, I was not going to watch it. I didn't even watch the last season of Game of Thrones. I know I look like the biggest fan, but I'm just a Melissa fan. I want to do her channel right. But I didn't watch the last season of Game of Thrones because I thought the 1 or 2 seasons before that were already trash enough, and I knew there was no way for them to save what they were doing with rushing it and everything. So I wasn't even going to watch this. I decided at the last second that if we do this podcast, I will watch it. So yeah, I thought it was going to be crap. I was waiting for people to tell me if it was good or bad, but maybe it's because I went in with lower expectations. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I just wouldn't give it a 5 because that's ridiculous. That's like Red Wedding level. But for a pilot episode, I mean, I don't know what more you'd really want. Set up all the characters pretty great. What did you guys feel was missing?
I went in with low expectations as well because I knew it wouldn't be terribly exciting, only because I know it's going to be a setup episode. And I don't know, I'm the same way with fucking books. I don't rate stuff 4 or 5 unless I really love it. And I think it was solid. It was a solid pilot episode.
That's what I feel like too. 3 out of 5 dragons is just you didn't mess it up.
Yeah.
But it was fine. And it did set up the characters really well. I was ready to be 100% confused. But I don't feel confused.
Because the world is a lot smaller with this show. It's all just in King's Landing. It's all one family or 2 families with the Valerians. So I noticed that too. The world is a lot smaller. So I think for this time around, it'll be a lot easier for us all to follow. For sure.
I agree. I thought some of the violence was a little overdone when they were setting up Damon's character, but I guess it kind of served a purpose for the story. But I do think, look, it probably made people feel terrible, but the best scene in the show was the birth scene because it really needed it. It needed it. That was the cusp of the whole episode. That's really what the episode was about, was that and the consequences of that, the lead up to that, the consequences of it. And it really made you feel invested because it made you feel like it was very real, which is what Game of Thrones does with its the best violent scenes.
Yeah, that was a very good scene because I feel like they show you King Viserys in the terrible position that he's in, where he basically has to like he knows his wife is going to die either way, so he has to save the child. And I can understand because he needs to have an heir. You're a king. That's like half of your job is to produce an heir. And then to have his wife die and then the birth happens and then the baby doesn't even make it like 5 minutes. That's like, damn, I still lost.
Yeah, I love that this show is a lot more emotional. Like it's still about legacy in a way, but I feel like thematically it's quite different. I can't put my finger on it yet, but I know that they're going for like brotherhood kind of like I just finished Better Call Saul. I'm thinking about brothers. Like that's what I'm on, but I see it and I like it.
Yeah, so I was a little bit confused exactly because when Prince Damon goes out with his city watch and he's killing the townspeople, they were also criminals, right? But they looked kind of defenseless.
Oh my God. I took notes during the episode.
I took notes too. I was like, there's so much stuff.
It's like a terrible stream of consciousness thing. But my note was something like, wow, they're really just beating the shit out of people. Okay.
What did the town people do? I missed it.
Murder, rape.
They called out what they did, but it didn't seem like there was much of a trial. I think regardless of like what they did and whether they did it or not, I think it was kind of like showing that Damon is a character that likes to make a point with using violence. So I think that's.
I was trying to put my finger on him too because I was like, okay, they're showing him as like he's kind of like chaotic and volatile, but they're also showing that he's kind of like this charming prince as well. Because I'm sorry, was I the only one feeling the vibes between him and his niece and the niece's friend? I was
like, it was definitely there. No,
yeah, that was definitely there.
Niece and uncle are gonna fuck?
Dude, it's Game of Thrones.
I was like, wait, am I reading the vibes wrong? Am I just
okay? Hold up. I need to say something about the ages in the books versus the show. So the two female characters were a lot younger in the books. So I think
on the show. Yes.
Yeah, I got thoughts. I
feel more uncomfortable because like she looks so young and he's like the older uncle. That's why I was like, but I feel like it was like kind of romantical because she gives him like, oh, I admire you eyes, and he's kind of like smiling up at her, and I feel like the what's her name? Rhaenyra's best friend was kind of also giving him sort of the eye. So I wonder if that's going to be a conflict in the future as like adults.
Yeah, I guess
spoilers. Oh, go ahead.
You know spoilers? Don't say anything. Why do you know spoilers?
Yeah, I was gonna say she reads the books or the wikis.
Read Fire and Blood?
No, I watched a lot of YouTube videos though.
Exactly.
I don't know everything. Yeah.
I used to be like that too when Game of Thrones was on, and I would read like hundreds of years into the history, but I've forgotten it also. And none of this is what's happening rings a bell. I guess like now we'll find out like if this plays into kind of like the line of succession, if like Damon tries to like seduce his niece into like maybe taking the throne from her father, or if maybe it just gets violent. I think probably those are one of the two ways it's going to go.
Okay, so you're saying that Damon may seduce her into kind of like, let's take over from your father because we're going to make a great team.
Yeah, because don't we know that ultimately the Targaryens do have a lot of female queens eventually? So we know probably this is the person that succeeds at that.
I don't remember them ever having.
Yeah, you know, like I was thinking the sister queens or something, but maybe you're right. I don't remember.
But he was still king. Like the throne still has never had a woman.
So we know for sure up until this point, the throne has never had a woman. I don't recall like if in Game of Thrones they had mentioned that in between like this point and when Daenerys takes over, if there had been one.
I don't think there.
Don't recall.
I read too many wikis. They're all the same. Rhaenyra, Viserys.
I don't think they've ever had a woman, like even during this time or between, and then obviously when Daenerys is born. It's never happened because they don't want it to happen. What do you guys feel about like his decision? Because I do feel a way. I feel a way that he waited until like his son and his wife died until he was like, you know what, fuck it. I have a daughter already. I'm gonna just make her my heir.
Yeah, it's like I like him, but he has faults.
Yeah, like he fucked up.
He's like the king of emotional damage. He's just in touch with his emotions.
Which I have a comment about him. Is he kind of dumb? I was like, you're doing okay. So like, sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but Viserys, he does what he does, and then the whole small council complains about what he did to the townspeople, and then his brother decides to just like let it go. And I was like, is that a Ned Stark move? Should you not punish him in some way?
Yeah, it feels like he didn't really seem too like threatened or like anything by his brother until after everything went down. So
it's like too late.
Like, we'll see, maybe.
I feel like there wouldn't be plot if he killed him.
Well, he doesn't have to kill him, I guess. He could send him somewhere. Look, this episode was subverting my expectations in several ways. I think the birth thing.
Hear that phrase. I can't hear that phrase.
I don't want to hear
that phrase.
How it subverted your expectations, all of them.
Well, it's the birth thing, right? Like I thought they were either setting up like he was going to have another daughter or like certain things, but I mean they set up that scene and it was pretty intense. I was like, "Oh, this is like real Game of Thrones where like the characters have to make like complex choices and stuff and then you see the consequences and it's like a lot worse than like in theory, saving your baby when like both your baby and your wife are going to die is like a difficult choice, but like a common sense one because it's like lose both or save one. But then like the way it plays out is so intense that you're almost like, God, what an asshole. How could he have done that? But
she would have died anyway.
Yeah, like I was like
exactly, but it was kind of hard to remember that as she was like crying for her life and stuff.
The thing is, I thought she was gonna consent. I thought he was gonna be like, "Hey, honey, this isn't looking so good." Yeah. You know, like we're gonna do this thing.
Did she ever say, "Whatever you do, save the baby"? But she never said that.
No, they just gave her a bunch of milk of the puppy, and that was it.
I was happy to hear about milk of the poppy again.
Yeah,
I forgot that it existed.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, oh, we're back. We're back. But yeah, okay. So in a major way that it subverted my expectations, I'm gonna keep saying that now.
Yeah.
Was so like the last few seasons of Game of Thrones, I thought like they were Russian stuff and they were kind of relying on dragons and like magic a lot more than the earlier seasons, which were more like relationship based. The seasons that I liked the most. And I was like, oh, House of Dragons. It's just going to be like some dragon BS the whole freaking time. Just like playing to the lowest common denominator. And there really was like barely any dragons. And there was a lot of like emotional, you know, human to human, like the relationships drove the plot, like the power dynamics drove the plot. And so I was happy to see that. I was just like expecting the worst, honestly.
I like that there's dragons in the first episode. Like you waited like seasons and seasons to see people ride dragons, and here's like, boom, here you go. Here's some dragon shit.
Since this is the time where the Targaryens are ruling and there are dragon riders. And I liked to see that they used the dragons to cremate their dead ones, and they were kind of like waiting on her to say Trakaris, and she had to like do that to her own mother and brother. That was hard.
Melissa, how does the dragon know which one to nuke? There's like 3 people standing between him.
I thought of that. I was like, how are they standing so close? Do y'all like? How does this work?
Oh my God. I remember we were watching it and my husband turns to me and he says, she's gift wrapped.
Gift wrap. Chris Dang, I think there will be more dragons because I did see a little bit of behind the scenes stuff, and Miguel Sapochnik said there would be like, I think like 9 this season. So we'll see. And speaking of Miguel Sapochnik, he was the guy who was always known for the dope ass battle episodes in Game of Thrones. So I now will be waiting for a really good battle episode during this season. And now, well, my mind tells me it's got to be between Damon and Rhaenyra, like a dragon battle in the air again, maybe. Who knows? Will it be that?
I want it to be more complex than that. I want the solution to be a solution that could be held like in a conversation. I feel like that's like Game of Thrones to me.
Yeah, but when you have a show that's mostly Targaryens, like, and then they have dragons, how do you not include the dragons? You know,
That's a good point.
In the war, you know.
So I took like a couple of little notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they set up like a little more extensive universe than this episode presented. They talked at the beginning about the triarchy or something, which sounds like just an alliance of nations that's like kicking some ass and killing some pirates. I think at some point that is going to like challenge also for the throne or do something that kind of leads to some pretty epic battle scenes. Maybe we'll learn more about them in the second episode, but there's like a lot more under the surface that they were setting up.
Mm-hmm. I forgot other countries existed until they were like, oh no, that guy's Dornish. It's like they suddenly saw, oh, he's brown. Oh no.
I like that the Dornish guy did not have that weird Dornish accent that only Oberyn Martell did well.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I liked Oberyn Martell though. He was
he was the only one that could do the Dornish accent. Then everyone was like trying to copy him, and they were like, not as good.
This is true because I remember in the episode 1 of the OG show, they went to like different types of countries and cities, and we didn't really see that many yet. I do know that Princess Rhaenys, who by the way, is she the sister of Viserys? Are they brother and sister?
She's the
Rhaenys.
You're talking about the queen that never was?
Princess Rhaenys, yes.
Yes, she's his sister.
Yes,
no. Wait, she's the sister of the father? She's the aunt?
No, I think she's Viserys' sister.
Yeah, probably.
And Rhaenyra is his daughter.
Rhaenyra is the daughter, and Rhaenys is the princess. And then Damon has Rhea. They really did not want to end the R's.
These names.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out soon enough.
I know. Keep track of the names. What was I saying? Fuck.
Something
you're
about
asking if she was the aunt or the sister.
Yeah, but I was saying something before. My mind. See this.
You were trying to go somewhere with that. Yeah, they're gonna want the throne too. Her husband's like all about it.
Kind of
what I was saying.
There you go.
I feel like so far that's the only other family that we have besides Targaryens, because we saw Hightower a little bit, and then we have his name is Caloris Valerion. He and you know, she feels the way. She's known as like the queen that never was. What a fucked up name. Like,
Ooh.
Are you always gonna remind me?
I have a note about her in the books. I think it's her. In the books, she's a Baratheon and she has brown hair, but they just give everybody the white hair because, you know.
Is she a Targaryen in the books?
Yeah, she's a Targaryen, but Targaryens can have black hair.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I
remember the hair of gold. That's how Ned Stark knew that Joffrey wasn't a Baratheon, because every Targaryen, Baratheon, blonde person combination it's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they all
yeah. Jon Snow, I guess, dark hair too.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But he wasn't inbred. He had a Targaryen and a Stark.
Yeah.
As his parents. Oh my God, puppy. Yeah. So what else happened in this episode, guys, that I want to talk about?
I'm gonna pull up my notes because I feel like I got jokes.
Oh, in the beginning, I was waiting for like another epic, you know, because Game of Thrones really had one of the best like opening scenes, because I thought it was cool how it was always a map and it would always change locations. I thought that was like a really inventive way.
But there was no opening.
There was no opening. So I was like, wait, I was actually looking forward to that, and I hope they have it for the rest of the season, because I know that they set up like a prologue and that made sense.
Do we know if the same guy came back to do the music?
Yes, I read the credits.
Okay, good.
Is back, which I have a call out though. During the opening dragon scene, I was like, really, you're using the same music? Like, why are you not creating original music? Which he did during the show, but I think like for like the epic aviary scenes, they used the Game of Thrones
same stuff.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did.
Didn't notice.
I love the music on that show, so I did notice.
I was paying attention to the music too, and I heard I heard like the Targaryen theme. Yeah. There was even like the main theme as the end credits. But I wondered, like, is it the same guy? Because it sounded a little more. And there was piano. Okay, when there's piano, I'm like, oh, this is unusual.
Yes, which they didn't use piano a lot in the last show. They did it.
No,
for,
it was just in the one scene where what's her face blew up the church. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But he is back. Ramin Djawadi.
Can you imagine your mom giving you a speech about, oh, you're gonna have a baby one day, and then
I did write that down too.
Yeah.
She was letting her know, look, this is our duty. This is what we do. And then
yeah, she like compared it to the battlefield too, which I think was like a nice little hint of foreshadowing.
Which it made sense though, because during her birth scene, they were cross-cutting it with the tourney, so it was like it was like her battle for her.
They were kind of going for a juxtaposition of life and death.
What it is,
but I don't know
in that time, and what it was for the men.
But what I wonder though is that going to be a theme throughout the entire show, or was that just this one episode? That's what I want to know.
I think so, because I'm guessing that people are not happy about Rhaenyra being the chosen heir because she's a woman. So it's gonna be like a constant thing, like prove yourself, bitch. You know what I mean? Like they don't want her to be queen. Yeah, and she's gonna be like, but I'm the heir, and hopefully she proves herself, and hopefully she could be a worthy leader. But this is the trouble with prequels. It's like we all know where it's gonna go. Like I know you don't win, bitch. I know you're not gonna be queen.
So we just say when he's like.
Hey.
A bad winter is coming. Like, who cares? It's just.
I know. Don't worry. It ends up being nothing.
Exactly. He said Aegon called it the Song of Ice and Fire. I was like, you know where this goes.
Don't remind me of that terrible show.
This is
so bad. It was like, keep going.
Roll my eyes at that shit.
He was holding his sword a whole bunch during that speech, and I thought it looked like ice. That was Ned Stark's sword. I think they like.
Nice. But he did have cat's paw. Remember, that's the sword that Arya used.
Oh my god, the little! Yeah. It's like I have an Assassin's Creed toy that came with the game. Anyway, yeah, that.
Yeah, they made sure to show the Valyrian dagger. That
Can we just talk about Damon for like an extended little bit? I had a note that's like he's still bloody and disgusting the morning after. Like he was just out there killing people all night long. That's how that goes. Yikes.
Yeah. I think they're doing that to show you like his like I don't give a fuck. I'm this warrior super person. Kind of like showing his charm.
His charm, huh?
Because I was thrown. I was like, wait, I thought he was this type of character, but then like he kind of does have like this gentleness and this like flirty charm that he has with his niece and the niece's best friend. So I was like, okay, this is this is interesting. This is complex.
The thing is, the niece's best friend is in for some, I don't know, trouble.
Yeah, like I know they eventually have some beef, and I'm wondering what the beef is about because it's not like Alicent can ever be queen. So like, what's your beef?
Hey, there's plenty of opportunities to have beef. Yeah, I'm interested to see what role she plays too. Mm-hmm. Looks like she's gonna be in there for a while.
Sorry, I don't know where she's going to go in the story, but I do know that in the books they were not friends. Oh. So they decided to make them friends for probably drama. So it sounds like maybe they're making good decisions. I don't know.
Interesting. So George R.R. Martin is involved with this, right? Like he's heavily involved. Okay, so that's
he's heavily involved, but that's less time that he's writing the books.
Guys, he's not gonna write any more books.
He's not rich. He doesn't have to write anymore.
Every now and then he comes out with like a Dunkin' an egg or something, like a random offshoot.
I don't think he's gonna finish Age.
Yeah,
I know. It makes me sad. Yeah, I can hope. I feel like there's an outline somewhere. Someone will finish it.
Yeah, it's called Game of Thrones. It's the outline. It felt like you were looking at an outline.
And then Arya springs out of the dark.
Part of me wants because I want to know how he would have ended it to see. Oh, Cynthia's here. Say hi, Cynthia. Okay, Cynthia, tell me all your thoughts. Cynthia, out of 1 and 5 dragons, how many dragons do you give it? Take time, think about it. We already gave our ratings. Watch the replay. So yes, tell me more about Daemon Targaryen, Sailor Tortilla.
Oh, I don't know. I like that he thinks that people from the Vale are ugly. And then I thought everyone we've seen from the Vale has been kind of ugly, so I thought that was a cool throwback.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They were
terrible. I like that he can watch the council meetings just through the little cracks in the thing and see his brother is like a really good okay, his brother is definitely a really good brother and defends him even though he kind of does terrible things.
Mm-hmm.
But he really did get mad at him, not because he was proclaiming I'm the king. It was because you didn't come tell me you're sorry. You're my brother. You know, like that was his transgression.
I mean, but that was fucked up. He was saying the heir for a day or something. Cynthia also is giving it 3 dragons.
He was having a nice joke. Oh, 3 dragons. All right, cool.
We're all 3s except for Andres. See, I predicted this.
You did.
I did.
As soon as we talked about our feelings on the original Game of Thrones pilot, you were like, yeah, okay. You're going to like it more.
I'm going to like this more than...
No, you knew that I would like it more because I liked the original Game of Thrones pilot.
I called it out.
Pilot episodes are tough you got to watch them with a different set of eyes, I feel like. You got to give them a little...
I could think of more better pilot episodes than like series finales, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard. It's harder to friggin' end a show on a good note. Only Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul have ever done
it. Only shows ever.
Speaking of what, like,
no Better Call Saul talk. No.
Well, it's relevant because this is another prequel, and we talked about how hard it is to do a prequel well when you know where it's gonna go. Better Call Saul set the blueprint.
Oh my God, they did so good. But there is a scene that reminded me of Better Call Saul. You know the bus chanting scene?
Yeah.
That was the Gold Cloaks. Let me know if you know what I mean in the comments in the future.
Yeah, in the future, answer to that. I want to see if I have any other notes. I wrote, Rhea is told she's made to birth. Are Damon and Rhea is Rhaenyra. I wrote, are Damon and Rhaenyra going to fuck? Viserys isn't mad attacking the townspeople. He does not punish his brother. Is that a Ned move? These are my notes.
Viserys is pretty Ned. I think what drives him, like what the difference is like he's a little more ambitious. He wants that male heir, and he's like willing to kind of make that choice pretty easily. When it comes down to it. Mm-hmm. And now who knows what he's going to be. Also, how about this? What about these little freaking wounds he's getting that aren't healing? Is he going to die from one of those?
Right. Thank you for bringing that up. I know this is an uncommon, but let's see you react to
we got some Sailor Moon fans in the building.
No, let me tell you something.
Following you everywhere.
We had a momentous occasion yesterday. For the first time in almost 30 years, a lost piece of media was found. And check out Raven Simone.
Raven Simone?
Learn more. It's Rick. I can't remember the name. It's on my TikTok. Please subscribe.
That's still Raven?
No, seriously, like history was made. That's true.
Yes,
Chris.
Sailor Moon history was made.
Girl.
We will look into it after this show. But
okay, but right now we're talking about unhealed wounds.
Okay, so tell me the skin thing that he's having. I thought, oh crap, is this some gray skin? What is it? No, it's grayscale. Grayscale. I was like, oh, is that what it is?
No, it doesn't look like it. I think it's what they were kind of setting up, which is like he's under so much stress that his like wounds aren't healing properly. So now he had that one on his back from before the birth. Now we know he's more stressed, and he has that like little one on his hand that they kind of closed in on. So he might die like kind of boring like that a little bit. So like Robert Baratheon-ish.
So then it's like
I like that you brought that up though, because in the books, I'm going to keep saying this, the Iron Throne was known to cut the people who sit on it. It was not a comfortable chair. So it was nice to finally see that. That was missing in the original show. And also like all the swords in like a triangle formation, that was also what the Iron Throne looked like in the books. So for me, it's like, it's so manga accurate. I love it. Sorry. But yes, I hope he doesn't get an infection and die. That'd be terrible.
It can't be like a Game of Thrones recap or review show without somebody that has some good like perspective on the books. Mm-hmm. Or else it's just like, so no, don't feel free to bring those up.
Question for you guys. So you guys have seen, I guess, like some photos and trailers. I know that eventually we're going to see, Rhaenyra and Alicent as adults. How many more episodes do you think we'll get like children, and then we'll finally get into like the present day of what's going on now?
Oh, so it's not going to be like the same actors?
Like real time?
No, they changed actors.
You know this?
Interesting. Okay, well, I didn't know
like
that. Spoiler alert.
Oh, you saw the photos and stuff. They were like all over the internet.
No.
Dude, I have not been hyped for this at all. I stop. Like, do not be fooled by my cosplay.
Do not be fooled by his fanboyness.
Yeah, I did not care about this show. I was gonna let you tell me how many dragons out of 5.
Okay.
And if you said 4, I was gonna watch.
Okay.
Are you glad we watched?
See, but I said 3. You have to rely on your own like eyes and brains and heart and soul.
Hey, look. Well, I didn't want to waste my time, but it turned out great because now we're doing this live stream to millions and millions of followers.
Who's the actor who's the Hand of the King? I've seen that guy before, and he's great. And also,
he's in Notting Hill.
Is he?
I don't think I.
And he's been in a lot of things, but for some reason, Notting Hill is the one that comes to mind.
I feel like I once saw him play Shakespeare. And then who's Sir Harold? I've seen that guy, but I don't know where he's from.
I don't know. I don't remember a Sir Harold. So far, I remember there's a Otto Hightower, there's Alicent Hightower, there's Valerians, and then there's Rhaenys and Rhaenyra, and that's all I remember so far. So many people.
Yeah, Otto Hightower. What do you guys think of him? Where does he rank in terms of Hands of the King, which are usually like some of the best characters?
Yeah, true. I feel like maybe may not have seen enough of him to really.
Yeah, I don't know. He has like a darkness around him. Mm-hmm. Like maybe he has some kind of past shame. He's like I have no idea.
I don't know. I feel like we've gotten more from his daughter so far than him.
I think so far, maybe it's just like my brain is like trained to think this way, but I think he's doing a good job of the typical Hand of the King role, which is like they're usually right about like everything. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's called everything like 5 to 10 minutes before it happens in the show. So
he seems interesting, but I don't like that he sent his daughter to go seduce a really old, sad.
Thank you for bringing that up. I wasn't sure. Was I reading that wrong? I was like, wait.
Wear your mother's dress, girl. Show them boobies.
Yeah, but the thing is that Viserys, he seems like a good guy so far, and he wasn't like I don't see him doing that. So I don't know if I was reading that wrong. Like, do you mean like he just needs like somebody to cry to, or like what do you mean by that? I don't understand.
But I like that you can take it both ways. You know, we could see it both ways.
No, we don't know yet.
How did
I don't like it though.
Yes.
I thought it was a little, sexual.
Yeah, but it was like weirdly sexual. It was weird.
But they're weird about sex in Game of Thrones too. They're not as like stuck up as
I think
French.
because of the age, it's throwing me off. If they were older, I would feel more confident. Yes, this is sexual, but these are like children. So
they were younger in the book, so it's a little better here.
Exactly. Yeah. What is Daenerys supposed to be at the beginning of like Game of Thrones?
Like
13, right? Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't mean that I want to see that, but just the difference there. But
at least Emilia Clarke was like 23 when she started the show. She's not like 15 looking like they are.
But how old are like the actual actresses? Probably
think
like in their 20s too, right?
Really? I don't know.
I'm just guessing. I don't know. You have to hire that way, probably.
Yeah.
People in their 20s that look
younger,
like the character's age, like if that. You can.
I mean, I like that the main girl has a really young-looking face. She sells it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I like her like kind of like steely look. She has a good like Targaryen steely like old world look about her.
So she's not going to be in the rest of the episodes?
Well, that's what I was asking. I was like, how much longer do you think we have with the younger versions until we get them as adults?
Interesting.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Who's going to play old Matt Smith in a wig?
No, Matt Smith is... So all the adults are going to still be the adults. It's the younger ones, which is Alicent and Rhaenyra, are going to be older actors.
Interesting.
Do you know
I know Olivia Cook is supposed to show up at some point.
Yeah, that's Alicent. So you did know.
Well, I knew that she was cast from a long time ago because that's like one of the only actors I really know.
Yeah, that's Alicent.
Alicent, I don't know who the hell that is.
That's
Alicent
the brown-haired girl.
friend.
Only brown-haired
Oh,
girl.
her friend?
Yeah.
Later on? Okay. Yeah. Oh, interesting.
And daughter to the hand of the king.
Interesting. Okay, so they get old, huh?
Yeah.
You know, as much as I read spoilers, I really don't know anything about the immediate tiny like little relationship pieces because this is all like old Targaryen myths, you know. It's just been on the wikis forever.
And even the book that he wrote, it's not a novel, like it's written as like legitimate history of Westeros.
Oh, I have a note about that from one of the YouTube videos I watched. So people are wondering if the show is going to show the actual happenings as they happened, or it's going to be what was written in the books, which presumably the writers of the books would have like used their political agenda to change what they wrote. So people don't know if they're going to write what's actually in the book that you can buy at Barnes and Noble, or they're going to do something different, like the truth.
You mean,
does that make sense?
He wrote it as like not all of the truth is in Fire and Blood history book?
Oh,
yeah,
so,
like you know how American history books don't say anything about important things that happened in American history because they're not good for America? Like that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. So George R.R. Martin wrote this book kind of like where it could be like have like some propaganda put into it a little bit. So
as the character who wrote the history of what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes sense though. So yeah, I think it's cool if they like, actually, this is what happened. You know, like that's kind of cool.
Yeah. It'd be cool for the fans.
Excited. Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was good.
Have you changed your rating? Are you still at three dragons?
So mine is 3.
Three is solid.
Three is solid on Dress. It's not a bad score.
All right, but I don't know. You started getting a little more excited. I heard her voice revving up, like with the possibilities.
No, because it's
what if they change this?
It's the ritual. It's I'm gonna go on Reddit after this, and I'm gonna read about it. I'm gonna get excited again. It's like Attack on Titan. It's like all these great shows all over again.
I felt like it was filmed because I had the pilot in mind, and I felt this one just felt a bit more like cinematic. But I think that's probably
budget
of the advancements. You know, like 10 years later, of course, like it just looks better that way. So
that's budget, baby.
Mm-hmm. There's that. Both show. Anything else happened?
Oh, Melissa, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I'm excited.
Say it.
I love that King Viserys has a Warhammer like Gundam model kit kind of little castle thing. That's so cute. I would do that in the Middle Ages too.
What? I don't recall this. Is that like a?
I don't recall it either.
He had a Warhammer. It's a game where you have little miniature figures on a big giant book. He's a weeb. He had his little models that he was doing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
What point did he have little models?
He was
like the model house?
Whole thing.
That dollhouse he was working on?
Yes, the dollhouse.
The one that he was working on after his wife and son died? That?
Yeah, that.
Yeah. I was like, is that like Hogwarts? Because it looked like the castle. Hogwarts.
I think it was the Red Keep.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'm glad he has a hobby.
He's got to do something to get over his dead wife.
What else happened that we want to discuss? I'm trying to remember things that happened.
There's a line that I really thought was cute. It was the hand of the
king.
king.
What was your favorite line of the episode?
Well, I barely remember it, but the hand of the king was saying something about the Iron Throne, and it was dangerous. And I'm thinking, literally.
Yeah.
Oh, and the part, you know, when the people put their heads down when they bow, they're like, okay, you're the queen. And they all bow their head and they all looked up at the same time. It's like they rebooted a little bit. That's it. That's the end of my notes.
I've already read all my notes too. And Andres, do you have any more notes?
I read all my notes. I had to hear about Milk of the Poppy and how happy I was to remember that it existed.
Good times.
We already discussed that. So.
That was a thing. Cool. Well, this was fun. I hope you guys had fun talking about the show with me.
I did.
Yeah. Let's do it. The episodes are only going to get better, I assume.
I assume
Or, you know, there's probably going to be some duds.
Yeah, that's natural.
That Dornish guy is definitely coming back.
Oh, his name was Chris Tun? Something? It's something with a C. Like it sounded like Tristan, but with a C.
Kristen.
Kristen. So episode 2, I believe, is called The Rogue Prince. So we'll be back, episode 2, Rogue Prince, next Sunday around because I think these are all over an hour, so maybe around 10:05 or 10:15. We will be back with our after show. Andres and Adriana will hang backstage with me so I can say bye to them properly. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you want to keep up with us with the recaps and the reactions, click the subscribe button and also like the video, share with your Game of Thrones fans because we're going to be talking about this for the next 10 weeks. And yeah, we're excited. Okay. And leave me your rating with the dragons in the comments. Let us know what you thought. All right.